Hello, good evening. My name is Richard. This is Over and Over and Over Again. And yes, it is a Monday night. And yes, we are doing the women's show again on a Monday, a couple of weeks now, due to various different events that's been going on. But we are going to go back to our regular Friday slot next week. Just want to get this, we've got to get through these couple of weeks. So we've moved to a Monday night. Hopefully you can still enjoy the show. We've got a lot to talk about, obviously, tonight. It's been another mad week in the world of Arsenal women. It's been not a bad week on the pitch. We'll talk about the game, of course, against Wolfsburg, the upcoming second leg as well. Looks like that's going to be an exciting night. We're going to also talk about, of course, the game that got called off on Saturday, which was much to the frustration of many people, particularly me and Andreas, who had travelled down to London for the game. But anyway, at least I did get to see one game this week. Unfortunately, Andreas didn't get to see any, so that's even worse. But anyway, we'll talk about that. We will mention, of course, the top of the league. We've lost our place at the top, haven't we, yesterday with Chelsea's match. We've got a game at the weekend against Leicester, of course, to look forward to. And although Matt can't be with us tonight to give us his new chant, we have got Amar, and he'll be giving us our new quiz question of the week. So that's going to be a good bit later on. So loads coming up the other side of this. So it is the Arsenal Women's Show, and we have got two of our usual panellists. I say no Matt tonight, unfortunately. Again, he's a bit busy, but he's sure he'll be back on next week. Andreas, of course, back in Germany following your kind of fruitless trip to London in a way, because you didn't get to see any football, unfortunately. But you had a good time anyway, didn't you?
Yeah, of course. As I said, London is always worth a visit, and the weather was fantastic. I had really great days there. But of course, I was flying to London to watch the North London derby in the Emirates in a spectacular crowd of 30 or 35,000. And it was really disappointing to read this news on Friday. But anyway, we can't change it. We have to look forward.
Yeah, we do. But I say we all had a good time in London, I guess, for a few days, even if it wasn't quite for what we wanted. But anyway, maybe next time we might be able to go back. Amar as well, back this week. Of course, yeah, wasn't around last week. You okay? Oh, he's on mute again. You're on mute again. You got the wrong mic. He had this problem last time, didn't he? We couldn't get Amar on, getting him speaking last time, and he's got the same problem again. He needs to get his life sorted out, really, doesn't he? I don't know what he's doing, but anyway, if you can hear us, we can't hear you. So, he's gone off to get his other mic again. That's good. Okay, right. We'll let him disappear and get his mic because he's having problems again. He needs to get that sorted. And we have had a comment already in the chat there from Kiddo. Is this something we'll talk about a little bit later on in the show? He says the way Chelsea dispatched Leicester without Harder and Kirby was mad. I can't see them dropping any points, to be honest. Villa was the game where they could have gave up, but they pulled through. Yeah, I mean, that was the game where we were all, 90th minute and it's 0-0 and we're all jumping about thinking they were going to do us a favour. And then, of course, Chelsea pulled that one out. But you never know, that with Chelsea, it seems as though when they're good, they're really, really good, as we saw yesterday. And when they're maybe a little bit off it, other teams can take points off them. So let's hope there's at least one more game this season where they're off it and someone can take points off them. Who knows? It might even be Tottenham. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's we will talk about obviously Chelsea and the title race in a little while. But there's only one place that we can really start. The game that did go ahead this week. And I was lucky enough to be at the Emirates actually to watch that game. Very, very enjoyable night it was as well. And it's really finally poised the tie, isn't it? I mean, before we sort of talk about too much else in regards to the game itself, I do think we need to talk about the performance, because I thought the second half was a really strong performance from us. We dominated from the start of that second half. I thought the first half we were a little bit in awe of them, maybe slightly. They've got a great record in the Champions League. They're one of the best sides in Europe, and we sat off them a little bit. We seemed a little bit scared, but in the second half, Jonas obviously told them to go out and go for it, and they did. And the second half was brilliant. I thought we perhaps deserved maybe to win that game, and the draw was the least we deserved. We left it late, as we tend to do quite often, but we got the least we deserved from that game, because I thought it was the second half was a brilliant performance. I mean, Andreas, what did you make of the performance overall? Because the second half in particular, that was as good as we've played, I think, all season, actually, against a very good side.
second half was really good for us, but I don't understand why we had so much problems to come into the match. Did we have too much respect for them, or yeah, did Jonas overrate Wolfsburg and made them too strong? I don't know. I read afterwards a funny comment that we had 500 passes in our team, and 250 of them were between Leah and Lotta. Yeah, the first half was not what we wanted to see.
No.
We were not dominating. Of course, we had a lot of ball possession, but in our own half, and always back passes, always trying again. But and sometimes when I watched it on TV, and sometimes I thought, oh no, please not back to the goalkeeper, and they did. So there was no pressure, and Wolfsburg scored a really good goal. They showed their quality, their pace, and yeah, and don't forget they had this big chance in the second half when Tabea Wasmut hit the post 2 times. This was a moment when everything could have been over. So I don't know why we had so much problems to grow into the match, but to see the good things, the positive things, the second half was really good. We were competitive. We were the better team in the second half, and we really deserved this goal.
No, exactly. No, we did, and I think that what I came out of that game on Wednesday believing that we've got a chance to go through, a good chance to go through, because it was nothing to fear. We have nothing to fear from them. Yes, they've got some very good players, and we know they're a danger. But I felt that we certainly second half we competed with them, and we were, as you rightly said, and I agree, we were the better team in the second half. And if we can play like that in the second leg, then I think we've got a hell of a chance to make it through. And I think when it comes to the quarterfinals of any competition, especially when it's over 2 legs, in the first leg you've got to keep yourself in it, and we've done that. And even if we'd lost that game 1-0, I still think we'd have had a chance over there. I still think we could have gone over there and won. But now we would draw to something to go for. I'm pretty confident. We'll talk about the second leg obviously in a minute. And Amar's just obviously trying to sort his microphone issue out. He did this last time and he was fine in there, so I'm sure he'll get it sorted. Terry's in the chat there. He says, good evening, Richard, Andreas, and Amar. I hope you're doing well. Well, yeah, we're doing well. I mean, Amar's having a few problems with his mic again. Stephen as well, doing. He says, hi guys, how's everyone? Yeah, we're okay. Terry says, I thought we're really unlucky not to beat them, to be honest. Yeah, I thought we was in the second half when that goal disallowed from Stina at the time. I didn't think she was offside. I've seen a replay of it, and I think she was actually, to be fair. But she took it well, didn't she? And it's funny, she's done that twice now against Manchester United. 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, slotted it in. Against Wolfsburg, 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, a different sort of finish, took it round the keeper and slotted it in. So it just shows what a great goal scorer she is. And in the end, it didn't count, that one, unfortunately. But yeah, I thought the draw was the least that we deserved. I mean, Andreas, what did you make of the crowd? Because in the end, I mean, I thought it was actually going to be more than that. And even being in the stadium, it looked like it was more. I know it was only one bit of the stand was open, but what did you make of that? Because it was quite a small crowd considering, a Champions League game. Did the club do enough to promote that, do you feel?
I was disappointed to see only 5,000. But the problem is when you play in midweek and Champions League, the 3,500 or 4,000 that would come to Meadow Park, they are going to the Emirates as well. But you have to activate the fans from the men's team. And when they look on the schedule and they see Wolfsburg, they are, I don't know what is this team. They don't know that Wolfsburg and Lyon are dominating teams in Champions League for the last 10 years. And maybe
it's a bit of an echo. It seems to be Amar is giving us an echo for some reason.
Is it? Oh, sorry. Sorry, but can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but there's an echo since you came back in.
No. Oh, not again. This is I'm sorry. So I don't want to make this a bit farcical. Let me sort it out. I'll come back. One sec.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, see, so the echo's gone now, so it's definitely Amar's with the echo there. But anyway, but no, I mean, yeah, you're right. They need to somehow attract more people. Obviously, the North London derby would have had a bigger crowd, as we know, a lot bigger. And I just felt as though the focus was on the Tottenham game, and the Wolfsburg game almost got put to one side. And yet, in a way, it's just as important game, if not more important. And it was an opportunity, you know, with no, obviously, an international break in the men's team to really promoted that game and got. I mean, I was expecting going to the ground. I was expecting 10,000 minimum crowd at that game. I've got to be honest. And even in the ground, it did look pretty full, and the atmosphere was really good actually. But I was obviously, you can't see the whole stand. You don't know how many people are in it and stuff like that. And I think the upper tier had a few in it as well. But I was really disappointed when I saw the crowd was only 5,000. I thought, what an opportunity that was, wasted in a way for the club to have, you know, I don't know what they could have done. I mean, what do you think they could have done better to have promoted that game? Because I don't think it would promote particularly well. I didn't think it was, personally.
Yeah, as I said, the fans from the men's team, when they look on the schedule, they see Wolfsburg. It would have been the same problem with Lyon. Nobody who is interested in men's football, in men's Champions League, knows that Lyon and Wolfsburg are the dominating teams in Champions League in women's football for about 10 years. So maybe Arsenal should have promoted this a lot better with making clear that there is one of the best teams in Europe for a decade is coming. And so lots of people thought, oh, Wolfsburg, okay, not so interesting. Why did we sell 30,000 tickets for the North London derby? Tottenham is only a mid-table team, and Wolfsburg is one of the dominating teams in Europe, and there are only 5,000. It was a bit disappointing, and I think the club could have done better in promoting this Champions League match. But anyway, this was not the reason for our problems in the first half.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't, and it's a shame that the crowd wasn't more, because it deserved a bigger crowd. Let's see if we've got Amar, but no echo. This is a good sign. Can we hear him?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can.
Sorry. I think what was my problem. I selected the wrong microphone. B, I forgot to enable echo cancellation. That's what I figured out now.
That's what it is. Well, you've got echo cancellation now. There's no echo.
I tell you,
we can hear you, and everybody can hear just one of us.
I don't want to make this show. It's becoming a bit farcical now. I don't want to be farcical. Sorry.
No, that's fine. You get there in the end, and as long as we get there in the end, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we've been talking about the Wolfsburg game on Wednesday. What did you make of that then, Amar? The performance overall, do you feel that we deserved that draw? I thought we possibly could have deserved a bit more, but a draw was the least we deserved overall. Did you think?
I think, based on the second half performance, yes, the most we deserved was a draw. We really took it to them, and you could see really uncharacteristic with the way they were giving the ball away so often, which is not what you associate with them. You see how much they've improved from when they were battered by Chelsea, and then they got revenge on Chelsea back in December. They're such a good side, well coached by Tommy Strobe. But what I found was maybe it was because of Jonas's tactics, as we've seen all season. They were giving the ball away because they were pressing them up the pitch and forcing them into those mistakes. And that second half was definitely merited with the way we got the equaliser. Yes, we survived that massive scare with Rasmuth missing that chance. I thought, oh no, this is in. And then Jill roared it, suppose. I thought, happy days. I mean, 2-0, it's a mountain to climb. But then we get that late equaliser. It was fully merited. And you could see the difference especially when Tobin Heath come on. She's going to be vital, especially when now sadly Beth Mead is not going to be playing in the second leg. But it'll be interesting to see if we can keep those same tactics up away from home in a much more, I won't say hostile atmosphere, but it'll be totally different with 30,000 watching in Wolfsburg. So that'll be quite interesting.
Yeah, and obviously I was at the game, and the atmosphere I thought was really good actually. Yeah. And I was shocked that the crowd was as low as it was, because it felt like there was a lot more in there, and everyone made a noise, got behind the team, and it was great. But can you imagine if there'd been 20,000 or even 15,000, what more greater atmosphere it would have been, and would that have intimidated Wolfsburg more? Would that have given us more of an advantage in the game? We'll never know. Ultimately, I really enjoyed it. It was a fantastic game of football. I enjoyed watching it. The second half in particular was just, it was edge of your seat the whole way through that second half. Every time we come forward, you thought we might score, and every time Wolfsburg broke away, you felt they might score. It was that kind of game, and it was great to watch. And it was just a shame that the crowd was so low. I mean, as Ryan from the Mr. Arsenal podcast says there, they really didn't promote it as much as they could have done. They just did. It's at the Emirates, come if you want. It was kind of like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And I agree with what Andrea said. A lot of people that don't maybe follow women's football probably aren't aware of how good a side Wolfsburg are and how much they've dominated the Champions League, and it was a massive game. It's almost like the men playing Barcelona maybe 5 or 6 years ago. That's sort of the level of the game that it was in the men's game, and that's what Wolfsburg are. And yeah, if they'd used that more as a promotion, maybe they would have got more people to come. I don't know. Maybe having the 2 games at the Emirates so close together with the Tottenham game might have distracted people. Everyone wanted to go to see the Tottenham game. I don't know, but either way, it was disappointing, and it was a shame because I was expecting a bigger crowd, and I don't feel disappointed because it was great to be there and experience it, but it is a shame it didn't get a bigger crowd because I thought the girls deserved a bigger crowd and the game deserved a bigger crowd. Quarter-final Champions League, it should have been it should have been a lot bigger, but anyway, it was a good atmosphere and it was good to be there. Kiddo says they're very direct and defensively resilient. Wolfsburg gave a good account of themselves. I'm expecting a good in return. Yeah, of course. It is going to be a tough game. We know that, but I came out of that feeling that we've got a good chance or a decent chance to get through now. It's not, a draw's an all right result. I'm sure we've got a chance to sneak a win over there. Christopher says, yeah, we've got an echo. Yeah, we've managed to sort that now, thankfully. It was our fault to just blame him. Kiddo says, the sheer ability to switch from a defensive position to an attacking position, just 2 or 3 passes really impressed me. Yeah, they did. I thought their number 10, I can't remember who it was. Was that Pop, number 10? Because she was very good.
It's Alex Pop, the captain of the national team. And Tapia Wasmut, who scored the goal, is always and Svenja Hood dribbling and
she was good as well.
It's a dangerous team, and I'm afraid they will score at home against us too. So the question is, can we score too? Can we put pressure on them? Maybe with counterattacks. We also have fast players. Hopefully, Caitlin can be back, or bring Tobin from the start, and then if she's not fit enough for 90 minutes, then take her off. But only bring her for the last 10 minutes. I think it's a waste of her talent, of her abilities. And we're facing the problem that Beth Mead is out with this stupid yellow card. I think that she should have been booked for that. There were other situations where Lena Oberdorf or Alex Pop could have been booked for Wolfsburg, but the referee was only talking to them and didn't show the yellow card. And Beth got the yellow card for
that's right.
No, I thought that was. I thought the referee was quite poor. If I'm totally honest, I thought all the officials were quite poor, but they did get the Steiner offside right, even though at the time I thought they got it wrong. So I was going mad. I was mad at the live for 10 minutes, and then I seen a replay afterwards, and it was probably the right decision. But anyway, the referee was poor. I think we know that. But anyway, it is. Yeah, we are going to miss Beth Mead in the second leg now. She's suspended, and that's a big loss. But Nikita Parrish came on. We know she's a good player. It hasn't quite worked for her this season, but wouldn't this be a great game for her to have to step in and do a job and get the goal that gets us through? Maybe wouldn't that be great for her to score the winning goal that sends us into the semi-final when she's had such a frustrating season for her as well. So, but we'll see. It might not be Nikita Parrish that comes in. We'll have to wait and see what Jonas got planned. That would be the obvious choice, I guess, wouldn't it? Overall, but it was good to get the goal at the end, wasn't it? Amar Wuba-Moy, an unusual, unlikely goal scorer at the end, really. But but actually, I thought her defensive performance was actually really good because we've maybe been a little bit, she's been a little bit uncertain in some games. Her concentration sometimes goes. But I thought from the first minute on Wednesday to the last, I thought she was brilliant. And for her to get the goal as well, an Arsenal fan in the Emirates Stadium, a last-minute equaliser in the Champions League game. Wow, what a moment for her. And she deserved it. I thought she was brilliant, actually. She was my player of the match, probably. I just thought she was outstanding.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, and I think when you look back at that game as well, I thought Leah, uncharacteristically, I noticed that. I don't know if you were there was today. She was giving the ball away more than what we've been accustomed to getting from Leah. One or two, they gave them really dangerous positions, and of course that made them more dangerous, as we know, on the counter. But thankfully for Leah, she was helped by her defensive partner, who was really, really solid, and she didn't make a rash tackle. looked really solid and come playing out of the back. And then, yeah, I mean, that was a striker's finish. It was like, it was something right off the training ground. Tobin just passed straight to one touch, bang, that was a striker's finish. And yeah, I mean, she's becoming accustomed to scoring big goals for us now. And it's great to see. Interesting to see whether they retain. Well, I think why wouldn't you retain them for the second leg? But it's going to be more difficult. But she's shown that in the big game, she's more than capable of stepping up to the plate. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, no, she was. It was a fantastic performance from her. I mean, I was a little bit worried, obviously, that Sousa wasn't fit to play, how well she's been playing. And I say, you know, Lotta's maybe been a little bit sloppy at times this season. So it concerned me a little bit. But, I mean, that was, I think, personally, that was her best ever performance for Arsenal, actually. And whether she rose to the occasion because it was at the Emirates, being an Arsenal fan, I'm not sure if that was the reason. I mean, Andreas, you must have been impressed with what Lotta did in that game. She was brilliant all the way through, wasn't she?
Yeah, as you said, maybe she was the player of the match from Arsenal's side. And yeah, I was wearing a number 3 shirt, so maybe and after the match, I read that Leah said when Tobin had this free kick, Leah said to Lotta, "It's your turn. Go into the box. It's your turn now." And I think everybody felt that it's such a special match for Lotta, and she was growing with the atmosphere, with this feeling, playing in the Emirates in a stadium where she was watching her idols when she was a kid, and so fantastic from her, and yeah, I think she made everybody happy, and she deserved this because she was working hard. She came back from the injury, and there were lots of criticism after the first part of the season, or at least November, December, when she had some sloppy matches or mistakes in her match. And now, I think, she can really be proud of herself. And the way she scored the goal was just fantastic.
It was brilliant.
How she stopped and controlled this hard shot from Tobin, and then it was a fantastic scoring. Almut Schuld had no chance against this. So for a defender, this was brilliantly done.
Yeah, it was, and it was a strange goal actually, because I don't think Tobin Heath. It didn't look as though Tobin Heath meant that as an assist. I think it was a shot that he didn't hit particularly well, and luckily it fell to Lotta, who smashed it in. But I don't care if she meant it or not. It worked. We got the goal, and I say I felt it was well deserved for the second half performance. And you know, part of me was a little bit disappointed we didn't win the game, maybe slightly, because you know the goal that was disallowed, and I know we were fortunate not to be 2-0 down, but. I don't know, but I was proud of the way they played in that second half, and you know it was great to get that. A last-minute goal seems to be something that we've produced a lot this season. Important last-minute goals, equalisers. It's about 4 now this season.
Yeah, that's right.
It just goes to show this team doesn't know when they're beaten. You know, and if you take out Barcelona, the 2 defeats against Barcelona, we've only lost 3 other games this season. 1 to Chelsea in the FA Cup final, 1 to Manchester United in the Cup, and obviously the Birmingham game in the WSL. Oh no, Wolfsburg. Hoffenheim. Yeah, we'll forget Hoffenheim because you know that was just it was already through pretty much anyway. But you know, this team don't really know when they're beaten, do they? They you know they play right to the end. You know, 92, 95 minutes, whatever it is, and they're always going for it. And in the end, I say once again, we got a goal right at the end, which was great, and it was enjoyable. I did enjoy that moment. Christopher says there. Hi guys, with a Tottenham game cheesed off, but it's really better for the Arsenal ladies that have got more time to prepare. Yes, that's true. More time to prepare. That is a good point. Also, it gave Chelsea more time to prepare for Leicester, and we saw what good that did them. So who knows? Maybe that might be what we needed. But I think when it comes to playing football, when you're playing well, we're unbeaten 11 games. It was ideal opportunity to keep going and keep playing, and you know we would have rotated the squad a little bit. And I don't know. I just felt as though. I was disappointed we didn't play it. Kiddo says there, unfortunately, the Wolfsburg game was always going to have a marginal attendance. 2 games at the Emirates in a week. One was on Wednesday and the other on Saturday. The opposition also plays a part. Well, it does, but the opposition wasn't promoted as much as Andreas said. It should have been promoted more. That was, you know, one of the best teams in Europe that were coming to the Emirates to play Arsenal in the Champions League. And, you know, if that was a man's game, it would have been sold out, you know. and it wasn't. So, that's a bit disappointing. Kiddo says, if we were to ask 10 Arsenal fans to choose which game they would watch live, undeniably the majority were going to pick the North London Derby. Yeah, of course they would. Of course they would pick the North London Derby. And, the North London Derby had sold well. And it's just a shame that they couldn't have done a little bit more promotion to get the Wolfsburg game to sell more. I wouldn't have expected 30,000, but I think we could have, with a little bit more promotion, have got 15,000 or 18,000. We got the Barcelona game was 15,000, wasn't it? Chelsea was 12,000. There was no reason why we couldn't have got something similar, and it wasn't really promoted very, very well. Ryan says, they could have done a buy one get one free offer to all fans and have away free tickets to anyone living in the area and just promote it a lot more in the area. Yeah, I must admit, the funny thing was we went to Highbury to have a look around on Thursday, and they had outside Arsenal Station, they had a board promoting all the next games at the Emirates, right? And they had Liverpool in the Premier League because it was a recent game. They had the Tottenham game for the ladies, and then they had the Brighton game. They didn't even have the Wolfsburg game promoted on their outside Arsenal Station as the upcoming games. It wasn't even on there. The Tottenham game was on there for the women, but not the Wolfsburg game. It's like, why have you missed that game out? No wonder no one bought tickets for it, because people might not have been aware it was even on, and that's shocking from the club. Actually, I was amazed when I saw that slide. I took a photo of it because I couldn't believe it. Yes, put the Tottenham game on, brilliant, but put the Wolfsburg game on as well. It's at the Emirates as well. You know what I mean? It's like ridiculous that they didn't do that. But anyway, it was a missed opportunity, and it's a shame. Ryan says, I got an email. Get tickets for both games for the price of one. They didn't even promote it on social media. I think there was a discount to buy two, because that's what I did, but you only got a £2 discount each ticket, so it wasn't like a massive discount. They should have, maybe one. If you bought both games, you got one free. Maybe they could have done that. That would have maybe got more people to buy Wolfsburg tickets, maybe. But anyway, Kiddo says there, I commend the club for hosting 2 consecutive games at the Carpet, but the fans were always going to pick 1 out of 2. The irony, they picked the wrong one in that sense. Poor Andreas suffered along with a load of other people as well. And Kiddo says the work commitment and hectic schedule disables fans to attend both games. Yeah, obviously it does. And that, midweek games are never going to be perhaps as easy to attend as the weekend ones. Christopher says there, Richard, is this true about a North London Derby game? Might be paid at Bournemouth. Yeah, it might be. It depends on what dates are available and whether the Emirates will be available, whether they can get permission to play at the Emirates on the new date. We'll have to wait and see. There is a possibility that they haven't decided yet. Obviously, if it's at Boreham Wood, they're going to refund everyone who's got a ticket, and then you just repurchase them for the game at Boreham Wood if you can. It depends when it is for me. I'd like to go still, but it does depend on when it is and whether it's going to be possible. It's going to be midweek now, isn't it? I don't have any doubt about that. So we'll have to see what happens there. Terry says, wasn't VAR supposed to be used against Wolfsburg, but I didn't see it. Well, no, I think it was being used. They spent 10 minutes before the game going over what it was used for. And then in the game, they never used it, or they didn't appear to. I mean, I was shocked they didn't give us on the screen for the offside to make it obvious, because I didn't know it was offside until about 2 hours after the game. It's like, well, we'll use the screen, show us the offside, and we're all happy. Or we're not happy, but we accept the decision because we've seen it on the screen. But they didn't do that anyway. I don't know what's going on with that. So Kiddo says the pull is no longer the affordable prices, funky offers on the stadium. It's the quality of the product, which is great. Exactly. No, you're right. And unfortunately, though, people that don't watch it won't know how good it is until they watch it. So they need to be pushed to watch it, don't they? If that means giving away free tickets, you shouldn't have to give away free tickets. We're Arsenal, the most successful women's club of all time in England, certainly. So they shouldn't have to. But ultimately, if you want to get a big crowd in, which they deserve to play in front of, that's maybe what you have to do sometimes. Kiddo says there, Felicitas Ranch, the right back, impressed me. Yeah, they had a few good performances, didn't they? They were decent. I mean, Andreas will know a lot more about her probably than I did. She didn't necessarily stand out for me more than some of the others. I mean, I thought we were pretty strong down the left-hand side, actually, wasn't we? Because Katie McCabe and Steph Catley both played pretty well. Christopher says there, again, we got Chelsea in the FA Cup. Yeah, we have. We mentioned that last week, actually. We'll look into that game, obviously, in a couple of weeks' time. So, yeah, it was a shame about the crowd, but it was a good game of football. 2 really good teams, going for it, especially in the second half. It was exciting. And, yeah, I was delighted that we got the goal. And hopefully that can give us something to really go for on Thursday, which we will come on to a little bit later. But, of course, we've sort of touched on it already, but we do need to maybe go into a little bit more detail about the disappointment of Saturday. So, obviously Andreas came especially for that game. I was down for the 2 games Lots of other people, obviously Amar was going to the game, Harry was going to the game, loads of people, obviously 30,000 odd tickets were sold. A lot of people were disappointed that it got called off. And for me, personally, I don't feel it should have been called off. I don't think any game should have been called off for COVID at all. And the FA have just been too weak and just let teams get away with it. We mentioned it off air, actually, why haven't anybody said which players have got COVID, which players are we talking about, how many players, how many cases? As Andreas told us, Bayern Munich had 6 cases at the weekend. They had several injuries. They still had to play their game, and they played their game and they won. Now, that's down to the FA who's running the game. The German FA have not allowed teams to cancel games, or it's a forfeit. We've just let teams do whatever they want. How many COVID cases have Tottenham actually got? We don't know. Is it 1? Is it 10? Is it 3? Who knows? How many injuries have they got? These are things that we should be told. People that's bought tickets to the game, people that are invested in the game, the TV companies are showing the game. They can't brush over it and not tell us exactly what the situation is. I'm not just talking about our game. The Chelsea game against Tottenham as well in midweek. The same thing should have happened. They should have played that game. I'm not just saying it because it's our game and it affects it. They should have played that game. They shouldn't have cancelled any game. I don't believe any game should have been cancelled for COVID. You shouldn't. You don't get games called off because you've got 10 injuries in your squad. Why should you get games called off because you've got 1 or 2 COVID cases? It's ridiculous.
True.
It's happened a lot. And now there's another game, of course, yesterday was called off. Birmingham at Manchester City was called off in the WSL yesterday as well. And you can see more games coming forward in the Premier League in the next few weeks, maybe getting called off again. I thought we'd finish with this, but obviously we haven't. And the FA have got to make a decision. The COVID restrictions finished in this country 2 weeks ago. And at that point, the FA should have said, right, no more games getting called off for COVID. It doesn't matter if you've got 10 cases, as long as you've got enough players in your squad, which you will have, because there's no way Tottenham didn't have 11 players or 12 players or 13 players to play. There's no way that they would have done with their academy side, everybody else. The same on a Wednesday game. I'm not just at it because it might have benefited us. They should have played Chelsea as well. And even if they'd lost 10-0 to Chelsea, they still should have played that game. And that should have been the way it should be. I mean, Andreas, I know obviously we maybe feel a bit more strongly because it was we were there for the game and it's disappointing it got called off. But this isn't just about this game, is it? This is something that's gone on. It's gone on for 2 or 3 months, and it's ridiculous now, isn't it? Do you believe that the FA should be stronger now, or it's probably too late now? They should have done this at the beginning, shouldn't they?
Yeah. Of course, I was totally disappointed. I was in London from Thursday on, and on Friday. I got this mail, the match is cancelled, is postponed. On the other side, I was expecting it after the Chelsea match on Wednesday was postponed, because if they have positive COVID tests on Wednesday, they are not negative tested on Saturday. But the problem is there is no transparency. They should name the players who is tested positive, how many players are tested positive, and then how many of the squad is left, how many players from the academy team can play, and then the games should go ahead. It was a totally different situation at the beginning of the season or in late autumn when games were cancelled because of COVID. But now, as you said, there are no more restrictions. I was 4 days in London now, and life felt totally normal, just as in recent times. And normal life without any restrictions, but matches are cancelled because of COVID, and you don't know how many players are tested positive. So this doesn't fit together. And in German Bundesliga, Bayern Munich had to play on Sunday. They had 13 players left from their normal squad. 13 players, including 2 goalkeepers. There was just 1 player from the normal squad on the bench, plus 3 youngsters from the second team or from their youth team. So they won, although, but it's also a problem for them. They have to play on Sunday, and then 3 days later in Paris, the second leg for the Champions League. But they had to play. There was no chance that it will be cancelled. And why are matches cancelled in the WSL? I don't understand it. And in this part of the season, when there are only 5 weekends left, when do we have to play all these games in hand now? What will happen if Arsenal qualifies in Wolfsburg? Then we have 2 weekends with Champions League semifinals and game in hand. And and FA Cup. When how can we finish the season regularly? I don't think that the FA has done the right decision with this.
No, well, they definitely haven't. I don't. There's any doubt.
Life is so back to normal in England.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I totally agree. I mean, you know, we was in London as well, and it was. I mean, funny enough, we said the same. We was in the West End on Friday evening, and you know, the theatres and all that kind of stuff. The amount of people that was out, it was packed, absolutely packed. There was no restrictions anywhere. Everyone's just going about their life as they would have done 2 years ago, no problems at all. Right? And I'm not saying that, you know, people aren't still catching COVID, because we know that they are. But ultimately, if you're going to lift your restrictions in your country and people can just go about their normal life, you can't then allow football games to be called off because 1 or 2 players have tested positive. You just can't do that. You just cannot do it. And unfortunately, the FA seem to live in a world of their own. They're not in the real world of everybody else. And I totally agree, Andreas. I mean, we have got a situation now where if another 1 or 2 games get called off between now and the end of the season, we are in serious trouble fitting them in. We'll be playing through the summer. You know, it's crazy because there isn't many weeks left. The season's due to finish second week in May at the moment. That's the WSL. There's still the FA Cup. There's still the Champions League if we're still in it, hopefully. And that's going on towards the end of May. And when are these games going to get played? You know, and can you imagine if Arsenal have to play Tottenham after the regular end of the season has finished, and Arsenal have to win that game to win the league? You know, it's just ridiculous that we're in that situation, because let's be honest, if one team was going to stop us from winning the league, it had to stop us from winning the league, it'd be them, wouldn't it? They'd do it, give everything to stop us winning it. So if that was the situation, so it is crazy now. And you know, if there's any more games postponed in the next week or 2, which it wouldn't surprise me if there was. I mean, there is an international break after this weekend for the women, so maybe that might, it could make things worse, but hopefully it might calm things down and we can get back to finishing the season. But I don't know. I mean, Amar, what did you make of all of this? Because I mean, should we be calling games off now at this point in time when all the restrictions are finished? Should we be allowing that to happen, or should they just think, you know what, I don't care, play the game if you have to play your youth team?
I don't know where to begin with this. It's been, you would have thought after 2 months, okay, it happened a lot in January. Yeah, we understood, fine, it's happened. And as you've been saying, restrictions were lifted 2 weeks ago, everything was fine. And I just think the FA are just too afraid, mate. Just let's be honest. They don't want to go into too much personal details, which players have COVID or not. They just want to do what they think is best and ultimately protect players and clubs of safety and not have to give too much detail. Yeah, I understand why people would. I understand why that maybe people would call to for whoever has COVID to be revealed. I think they should do that now. It's getting quite frankly ridiculous, and it ruins the enjoyment of the game. And now, maybe if it happens again, maybe they should sanction those clubs. And maybe I think I've heard in some circles that they should be starting maybe points deductions or something if they can't fulfil these fixtures. And as you're right, I was reading a Guardian article, which I read weekly every week, which looks back at the WSL, even for City as well against Birmingham. Where are they going to fit these games in? They don't care one jot about they don't care one jot about what it means to clubs to try to fit these games in. They just want to do it their own way, and quite frankly, it's disgusting in many ways. For me, it's disgusting.
It is. I mean, I 100% agree. And, you know, once again, the FA don't care about fans. They don't care about the fact that fans have got to try to get to these games as well later on in the season, probably midweek as well. Most of them are going to end up being, well, they all will be probably. So they don't care about that. They've never been bothered about the fans anyway. You can tell by some of even the kickoff time that they've been doing this season. But, you know, it is absolutely ridiculous. And, I mean, I wasn't, obviously I was really, really surprised when I heard that the Chelsea Spurs game had got called off, because I remember the last time a game had got called off a couple of weeks ago, and suddenly out of the blue I'd say I got a message to tell me, have you seen this? I was like, wow. And then of course that did put a massive spanner in the works for our game. We kind of knew it was probably not going to go ahead at that point, really. I mean, we did a stadium tour on the Thursday, and pretty much everyone at the ground who worked at Arsenal was saying it's probably going to be called off. Almost certainly was going to get called off. So we kind of knew on Thursday. It was just waiting for the official announcement, which came on Friday, of course. But yeah, I mean, it is ridiculous that they've allowed this situation to happen. But that sums up our FA, really, and not just now. It sums up our FA over the last 100 years. They're just a complete bunch of.
Yeah.
They're just a complete bunch of dinosaurs. They haven't got a clue what they're doing. Don't care about the fans. They just care about what they make out of it. You know, and if they really cared about the clubs, they wouldn't be forcing clubs to have to play 3 or 4 games a week later in the season. That's what's going to happen.
Crazy. It's
you know,
crazy.
We're in the Champions League, right? We're going to have a little bit of a fixture pile up, and that gives a massive advantage to Chelsea in the title race because we're not going to be able to cope with all the games. We've got more games to play because we're in the competition. Chelsea got knocked out because they're not very good. They got knocked out of Europe. They're crap in Europe. We're getting punished for being better than them. And that's why they're now top of the league. I thought I'd get in because we've got Lamin in from Italy, the Chelsea fan. But I'm only kidding. We know Chelsea are right side. But ultimately, you know, it's not helping us, is it? It's not going to help us. Yes, Chelsea have got to rearrange their game with Spurs, but that's all they've got to play for now. The FA Cup as well, but they haven't got the European game. So, well, no, we might only have one more left, I guess, and then we might be out on Thursday. But we'll see.
Hey, don't say that. Don't say that.
No, well, I want to be confident if I can. Kiddo says Spursy. It was Spursy, yeah, definitely. Terry says, yeah, and they stopped it in the men's game. No more COVID postponements. Have they actually put that in place as an actual rule? Have they to say there's no more postponements in the men's game? Because I haven't actually heard for definite. There hasn't been any for ages, but I didn't realise that was actually the FA had changed the rule. Because if they've changed it in the men's game, why have they not done it for the women's game as well? It's the FA, it's the same FA, isn't it? It's not a different FA. There's only one FA that run everything. So I don't know really. But anyway, Imperative Views there says the game had the potential to break the highest attendance ever recorded in WSL. It did, and it would have done. And I feel really sorry for Andreas. Yeah, we all feel really sorry for Andreas. I mean, at least I got to see a game. You know, I didn't get to see 2, but I got to see 1, so I can't really grumble too much. Terry says, yeah, spot on. Our Spurs bottled it. They did. Kiddo says, the attendance will see a massive. The attendance will see a massive decline. It might even not be held at the Emirates. I really feel for the players. Well, yeah, I mean, it may not be held at the Emirates if they can't arrange a date that's going to be able to play at the Emirates. And if it's going to be quite quick, they might have time to organise it with everything that they need to sort out for a game. So yeah, I've got a feeling it may well be at Bournemouth now, and it will be a shame for the players missing out on an opportunity to play in front of 35,000 at the Emirates, and have to play in front of maybe 3,000 or 4,000 at Bournemouth. It's not the same, is it? And it is a shame for the players. It's a shame for the fans. Because only a tiny amount of the fans who wanted to go to that game are going to be able to go to it if it's at Bournemouth. So again, no one cares about the fans today. Really, we're just irrelevant. Really, even the players seem to be irrelevant at the minute. Not really thinking about them, are they? I don't know what they're thinking about this, to be honest. Because it's not like they're making money out of cancelling the games. The TV companies will be annoyed because they've got to try and fill a schedule that they had planned for the game, and nobody's come out of this with any credit at all. No one's come out of it on top, have they? You know what I mean? And no one has. It seems a crazy decision, but anyway, they've made it now. We have to lump it, and we'll have to see what happens with a rearranged game, when it will be, where it will be, and all that kind of stuff. Let's just hope that it can go ahead at the Emirates and it still gets a good crowd, and because the girls deserve that.
Absolutely,
It would be a shame if they missed out on that opportunity because of nonsense that has gone on this week. But anyway, we could talk about this all night, and it'll just get me more and more angry and upset. And I'm sure Andreas is already upset enough about it. So maybe we should move away from that a little bit and look ahead to Thursday night. Of course, it is the big game, the second leg. It's going to be a tense night. We know it's going to be tense, but the question is, can we do it? So I came out on Wednesday thinking we've got a great chance to go through. In the second half, Wolfsburg, I looked at Wolfsburg and thought we're as good as them and beat them away from home. We can. I mean, Andreas, you obviously know Wolfsburg a lot more than we do. You've seen them play a lot more than we have. What's the difference with them playing at home to playing away? I know they thrashed Chelsea at home after getting a draw away from home. I mean, what's the difference in the way that they generally play at home? Is that a concern for you, because the home leg, or do you feel that we've got a great chance to go through still?
The question is not whether we can progress, but it's the question: will we?
Yes.
How will we start in the game? Will we be in the match from the first minute on? Normally, Wolfsburg is dominating their matches at home with a lot of possession, and then it's difficult to come into the match against them. So. And they have a really good run on Saturday. Yes, they played away at Frankfurt. Frankfurt was on third position, struggling for the third Champions League spot, and Wolfsburg was 4-0 ahead after the first half. So they really destroyed Frankfurt. And then in the second half, they could rotate and rest players. So it was the perfect match for them. 4-1 winning in Frankfurt for their self-confidence, for everything. And I think they will go into the match with a lot of confidence and believe that they will qualify. There's only one problem for for Wolfsburg, and that could be good for us. This was the third match in the Champions League in which they conceded a late goal. Against Chelsea, it was, I think, in
the 3-3 game back at Kingsmeadow. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Pernil Harder scored the 3-3.
Yes,
then
right.
they conceded against Juve in the last minute, and now against us. So this is something they will have that in mind. And if the match it's an open match and everything is possible until the last minute, then there will come thoughts to their mind. Oh no, let's not concede again. So this is a chance for us. But on the other side, the problem is they are really dominating at home, and they will have a lot of ball possession. But we have the pace in our players, Stina, Tobin, Caitlin, Keats. There's a chance for counter-attacks for us. But the problem will be if Wolfsburg scores early, then it will be very difficult. Okay, another point is they are playing in the big stadium, in the men's stadium, where they are normally not playing. So it's not a real home match for them. Yeah, just to see some positive points or aspects for us.
That's a good point. I mean, I know there was a few Arsenal players that mentioned about playing at the Emirates because it isn't the normal home ground. That it takes a different kind of, it's a different preparation, it's a bigger pitch, and maybe Wolfsburg might suffer a similar thing because they're not playing on their usual home stadium, so maybe that might make a difference. That's a good point, and that's something we can look at as well going into the game. I mean it's true that it is going to be a difficult game. I think we know that, but I agree with Terry there. Terry says I don't think we have nothing to fear going there. No, I don't think we have nothing to fear. I think we've got players that can hurt them, and we saw that on Wednesday. But also they've got players that can hurt us, so it's not going to be an easy game. Pretty View says one that Andreas might know.
She is.
Bendemeer suspended. Did she get booked then? Did she?
Yeah, she did.
Suspended like that is for the second yellow card.
Right. Okay. Oh, well, there you go. So, but they've got one suspended. We have as well. So, that sort of evens itself out perhaps a little bit there. Pettiview also says that hopefully Caitlin will be back. Rafa is out for 2 or 3 weeks, so she won't be available. No, she won't be. But as we said, Wuben Moy was brilliant on Wednesday, so I'm sure she can go over and have another great game over there next week as well. So I'm not as concerned about Rafa missing as I might have been, as I was the other night before the game. I was a bit concerned she wasn't playing, but Wuben Moy steps up, and I'm sure she will again. I mean, Amar, we have got a chance. There's no doubt about that. The game's it's finally poised, actually, isn't it? 1-1. It's a great first leg score. There's no away goals either that make any difference. So it's not. We can't go there for a 0-0, or they can't play for a 0-0 draw. We don't necessarily need to score. Well, we do to win, I suppose. But we're not going to go out on a 0-0 on away goal. So it makes it slightly different to perhaps what we're used to in European knockout games. So that's going to be a little bit interesting. I mean, what are you kind of anticipating? Having seen the game on Wednesday, you see what Wolfsburg are all about, and obviously how we played. What are you anticipating for the game on Thursday, other than it's going to be a very difficult, tight game?
Well, according to Jonas Eidevall, he thinks we have 100% chance of getting through, which is what he said.
He did say
I thought that's confidence for you. I was thinking to me earlier, it's more like I think it's fairly even. But the one thing I garnered from that game is we have to try to stop the counterattack, especially when they come down our right. When I was noticing they can do it so quickly, they play it so well out of the back, and even though they were tended to give the ball away so often, just on the second half because of Arsenal, he changed his tactics, and they still gave it away. But you could see they were forced into mistakes more. Whether they can do that away from him is going to be crucial, because if they could counterattack as well as they did, I fancy they'll be a lot more ruthless in front of goal, and we won't get away with it like we did in the first leg. So we have to stop that. We have to keep the ball a lot better, and also I would say, well, yeah, obviously keep the ball a lot better, but try to take it to them. Also, the pressure is going to be a bit on them, playing in front of a crowd of 30,000. It also happens to be that their game after that happens to be a potential title decider against Bayern. So maybe they'll have one eye on that. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a fascinating game, and whether we can take it to them remains to be seen. We have to be a lot better on the ball, and yeah, it promises to be an exciting encounter, and who knows what will happen. But yeah, I think we have a decent chance of getting through, but it's going to be, as we know, it's going to be extremely difficult.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to be extremely difficult. I mean, I thought what they did well was they put some great crosses into the box, didn't they? Especially in that first half. They got a goal from a cross into the box. They had one or two other chances, and sometimes our deliveries into the box wasn't as good as they usually are. And maybe that's something we need to improve next week. We need to defend the crosses better when they come in, and we need to maybe be a little bit better with our final ball into the box as well. And hopefully we'll get a few chances as we did on Wednesday, and hopefully we can we can sneak a victory. I mean, Andreas, we need a score prediction ahead of this game from yourself. I know we haven't got Matt to predict a 4-0 defeat. So I mean, obviously, you do know a lot more about Wolfsburg. We all know a little bit more about them, having seen them last week. I mean, what's your score prediction for Thursday? Do you think we're going to make it through?
It's very difficult. And as I said, they are on a good run for the last weeks. They have beaten Hoffenheim. They've beaten Frankfurt.
But they couldn't beat us. They couldn't beat us, though, could they? So
they couldn't beat us, yes. And they lost at home against Juve. So
they did.
Yeah. They conceded 3 goals at Chelsea, 2 goals at home against Juve. Yeah, why shouldn't we score? But so I think the better chances are on Wolfsburg side. So I don't expect us to go through, but we are in an Arsenal show and we have to be optimistic. So I say we'll see another draw. We'll see a 2-2. But don't ask me what will happen in extra time.
or penalties possibly after that. I mean, that would be quite something, wouldn't it, if it went to penalties? I mean, that wouldn't surprise me at all if it is another draw and it did go extra time of penalties. But anyway, let's hope that either way it goes our way. I mean, Amar, what would be your score? But actually, just before you give your score prediction, we need to put Terry's prediction on. He's gone 3-1 us, maybe 5-2. Because I mean, 3-1 and 5-2 are very similar scores, aren't they? So I can see why you kind of sway in between the two, because it's quite similar, isn't it? I mean, 3-1 would be nice, but I think that's maybe pushing it a little bit. I mean, Amar, what's your score prediction then for Thursday? Are we going to go through? Are we going to be in a semi-final?
Going to be a tense night, but yeah, I think the girls can do it. They can build on that second half performance, real confidence. Okay, yeah, the game was postponed in the weekend. I know Wolfsburg had the extra game, winning 4-1 against Frankfurt, but they definitely have a lot of respect for the opposition there. As I said, it's a step up in class from what they face week in, week out, again, other than say the likes of Bayern and Hoffenheim in the Frauen Bundesliga. So yeah, I'm thinking if we can take it to them, but we have to keep the ball better. I think we can make it through. I'm going to say they can, and I think it'll be a scoring draw. And who knows? Maybe we can even snake a famous 2-1 win and do similar to what Chelsea did last season, albeit that was in Budapest. But the pressure is going to be on them, and who knows if we can keep the ball well, create chances, and be ruthless in front of goal. Who knows? I mean, it's easier said than done, but why not? I'll say 2-1 Arsenal.
That's what I like to see. Confidence. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think we can win. And I mean, say after the game on Wednesday, I feel we've got a great chance to go through. I really do. And yes, I'm not saying Wolfsburg aren't a great team, because we know they are. But, that second half was impressive from Arsenal. And I think if we take confidence from that and we build on that performance, I think Wolfsburg are going to be worried about us in that game. I'm sure they will go into that game. They're not going to be, I'm sure they'll be confident they can get through, but I'm sure they're not going to take it lightly. They've seen what we can do. They've seen how much pressure we put on them. We've seen the chances that we created in that second half. And if we play like that for the whole of this game on Thursday, I believe we can win. Will we win? I don't know. It is going to be tough. I mean, I want to be optimistic like Amar, and I want to say that we will win 2-1. But I actually think it might go to extra time. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it is a draw again and it's extra time. It seems a little bit unfair that Wolfsburg get extra time at home. So they get to play an extra 30 minutes at home, whereas we play an extra 30 minutes away. And it's not kind of fair, really. If it's a draw at home, you play extra time at home as well. And then it's not really fair that you only get extra time in one game. But anyway, I got a feeling it may well be extra time. And as Andrea says, who knows what's going to happen if it goes to extra time. So I'm going to predict a draw. I'm going to predict another 1-1 at 90 minutes. And then who knows what happens after that. Hopefully we can sneak through a goal or extra time, penalties, whatever it might be.
Don't mention penalties against Germans, man. Don't mention.
Well, no, let's not. But ultimately, we'll have to see what happens, won't we? I mean, who knows? So yeah, that's going to be good. Kiddo says, I can see exactly why Chelsea struggled against Wolfsburg. Emma sets her teams to play a high line, which has numerous pros, but on the end it leaves them vulnerable to runs behind. Yeah, it does. Yeah, and I thought, in that second half, I thought the way we defended actually was pretty good as well as the way we attacked. So, I thought our tactics were pretty good second half. Kiddo says, the way Wolfsburg set out to play is a kryptonite to teams that play with high defensive line. Hoof and Wolfsburg in particular are causing all sorts of problems. But they were in the first half. In the second half, they didn't get much of a kick, did they, really? And Kiddo says, I literally watched all 4 Champions League games, and Bayern, Real and Wolfsburg were the teams I was impressed with. But yet, Wolfsburg couldn't beat us. That's how you may well have been impressed with them, but they didn't beat us, did they? So that's a good sign. And apart from Real, I can see Wolfsburg being the most stern. Well, Wolfsburg won't be playing Barcelona, will they? Because we will. So they may well be a test for Barcelona, but ultimately they're not going to get any chance to play them either, because we're going to beat them. So there you go. And Imperative says we could bring in Joe for their return fixture. Well, yeah, he beat him, didn't he? He did beat him away, as Andrea said. So who knows? Maybe we should try and get him. Just bring him and get some advice. That's what Jonas needs to bring. Joe, how did you beat them away from home? Just tell me what you did. We'll do the same, and then we'll do it as well. And Terry says there, you're one short. Amar, be brave.
I'll go through one.
Yeah. I'm sure Matt would have predicted a defeat. Ryan says 2-1 to Arsenal as well. And Terry says, calm down, we're only playing 92 minutes. Well, no, I don't think we'll be playing 92 minutes. I think we'll be playing a full lot of extra time and who knows. But anyway, let's see what happens. But I mean, it is going to be tight and tense. We know that. But I'm hopeful that we can get through. I think we're good enough to go through. But a lot of it's going to depend on, one, how well we defend their crosses into the box and we don't leave ourselves too open for the counter-attack. And also, if we can just take our chances a bit more than we did the other night, because we did miss 2 or 3 good opportunities, didn't we? That we could have got the win. But it's certainly going to be a tense night, and we'll see what happens. Imperative View says Gildo went missing. Well, yeah, no, she did a little bit, but anyway, I'm sure she'll be up for the second game. Tommy says, we'll smash them. We were much better. Yeah, like, no, second. If we play like within the second half, I think we'll win. I do, honestly. But I'm not sure if we can produce that for 90 minutes away from home against them. But anyway, let's hope that we can at least do enough to go through. Also, as well, of course, it is. There's 2 games this week, as it's going to be for most weeks now till the end of the season after the international break. We are playing a team that, really great form on Sunday, is it, the game? We're playing on Sunday against a team in the best form possible. So Leicester, of course, coming into this game on the back of one of the heaviest home defeats in WSL history. Losing 9-0 to Chelsea yesterday. So thanks for that, Leicester. You really helped. My train journey home yesterday was quite depressing as it was. And then suddenly the news was coming in of Chelsea scoring goal after goal against you. So well done, Leicester. You probably won't get relegated now because of Birmingham being even worse than you are. But I hope you do get relegated after that pathetic performance yesterday. And you can guarantee they'll play much better against us. They'll defend a lot better against us, which will happen anyway because you're going to get a response, aren't you? When a team's had a poor defeat, they tend to get a response. And you'd imagine Leicester are going to be a lot more organised. They're going to set up a lot differently. And we're just coming back off a trip to Germany on Thursday. And then we go to Leicester on Sunday. So it's a quick turnaround, a lot of travelling. And I don't think we're going to win 9-0 personally. But anyway, we'll see.
We'll win 10-0.
Yeah, we need to win 10-0 just to show Chelsea. This is how you do it. This is how you beat Leicester. 9-0. We'll score 10. But yeah, I think it's going to be a tricky game coming as it does. straight after the, in a way people saying, oh, it was good that the Spurs game was called off. It gives us more time to prepare for Wolfsburg, but ultimately it would have given us more, playing Tottenham. We were at home, and it wouldn't have been too bad playing away in Germany and then playing Leicester away. I think it's quite a tough week on the pitch, especially if it does go extra time on Thursday, which we're kind of anticipating it might do. I mean, Andreas, again, we're going to start a WSL game as massive favourites to win, especially after Leicester's performance yesterday. But is it going to be as straightforward as that? I'm not sure if it will.
No, it won't be easy because we have the match on Thursday night. There's only Friday and Saturday to rest. We don't know if players will be out with smaller injuries, etc. And of course, Leicester will show a reaction. They don't want to be humiliated again. They had 7-0 in the FA Cup and now 9-0 in the WSL. So of course they will try to show a reaction and they will defend as best as possible. It will depend how fit our team is, how many players need rest, whether we had 90 minutes, 120 minutes, or maybe it won't be that hard on Thursday. It could be a clear thing for Wolfsburg or a clear thing for us. So we don't know. We don't know what happens and in which condition we are going into the Leicester match. But anyway, I don't think that we will see another Birmingham disaster. I think we will win, and let's say we'll win 3-0. This would be really comfortable and fine. And as I said, we have to show optimism in this show because we are Arsenal fans, and we can't say that it will be difficult. We might lose or draw against a team like Leicester. So, I'm optimistic, and I say we'll win 3-0.
Well, I mean that would be fine. I mean 1-0 would do. Let's face it. I know the goal difference has swung in Chelsea's favour, and they just scored 9 away at Leicester. So we're going to be judged on that a little bit, aren't we? If we only win 1 or 2-0, I suppose. But ultimately, 3 points is what we need. We can't afford anything less. We have to get the 3 points, simple as that, and hopefully we can. But I don't think the fact we're playing on Thursday night away. And I know it's an earlier kickoff, but even so, I'm not happy about that kind of situation really, and it makes it a more difficult game. Chelsea had a full week to prepare for Leicester because their midweek game was called off, and you could see what difference that made. And I think it's going to be a tough game. Ryan in the chat there says we're going to win 20-0. Well, 20-0. I'm not quite sure we will win 20-0, but anyway, it would be good if we did. But I'll say I think it's going to be quite a tricky game coming as it does. In the situation that we're in. So let's see what's going to happen. I mean, Amar, what are you anticipating then from Leicester? Obviously, we know that the players are probably going to be top. Maybe we should just call it off. We should just ring the FA, say we've got a couple of players with COVID, so can we call it off because we need a bit of extra rest and play it like later on in the season, like everybody else.
Fatigue.
Just blame it on that. Blame it on COVID and get it called off.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. When I know when they played 5 at the back, but Chelsea got so much quality to unlock most teams. But when they just didn't really proper fight, and I did think when you tried, I don't know whatever the tactics were, they said they tried to press them and defend, but Chelsea just found a way through with such ease. And I'm hoping we can do something similar. It'll be interesting to see who he decides to rest and for the second leg on Germany on Thursday, and then who's going to be. I suppose Beth being fit, we could unleash her on Sunday lunchtime. Again, Sunday lunchtime after Thursday game. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know where they get all these kickoff times from. And
I know,
just honestly, how come Chelsea after playing 1 week play 6:45 on Sunday, and then that's not even 3 days after Champions League game we have to. It's not such a short turnaround, and it doesn't make any sense. But I think we'll still be too strong for them. They'll have a week to recover from that hammering by Chelsea, and the last team we'd want to be playing next is a team that's chasing the title like Arsenal are. And regardless of what happens on Thursday, I think it would still be too strong for them. And it might not be 9, but I can see it probably being at least 4 or 5.
Okay, well that's optimistic. I mean, Terry actually unusually has just gone 1-0. So there you go. Terry usually thinks we're going to score 8 goals against good teams, and now we're playing a team second from bottom, and he thinks we're going to win 1-0. But ultimately, a win will do me. I'll be quite happy with any win, and I'm not going to, I know there'll be. You can guarantee if we did win 1-0, there'll be a load of people will be losing their mind because Chelsea beat them 9-0, we've only beat them 1-0. But ultimately, the 3 points at this point in the season, we just got to win every game and hope for the best, haven't we? I mean, that's all that we can do. There was a comment earlier from Ryan, actually, which I wanted to bring up now when we're talking about the Leicester game, actually. He says there, how do you think the WSL is going to play out now? We have the easier running out of the two. That's very true. They have 3 huge games to Spurs 2 and Manchester United on the final day. Yeah, they do. And I do think that although they've now got the advantage, obviously they're top of the table by 1 point and the goal difference is better than us. We do have, on paper at least, an easier run into the season. They've got 3 games which you can potentially, they could drop points in 3 games. You look at our games, yes, we've got Tottenham to play at home as well. But other than that, you look at our other 4 games and you look at it and think you'd be disappointed any season at any point if we didn't win them other 4 games, wouldn't you? Obviously, Leicester away, West Ham away. We've got Aston Villa at home and what's the other game? It's slipped my mind.
Aston Villa, Spurs. You've got
Everton away as well.
West Ham away, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of away games actually. But anyway, even so, I personally feel that I'll be disappointed if we didn't win those games anyway. Whereas Chelsea have got tougher games, so
they do.
They do it, and Ryan says, "They call me crazy. I still think the WSL is ours to lose." I mean, it is in a way, but it isn't, because even if we win all our games, it might not be enough. We do have to rely on Chelsea having one poor performance, dropping some points somewhere along the line. Otherwise, they will win it. But they do have tougher games. All we can do is win our games now, and
absolutely.
If we win our final 5 games that we've got to play, then that's all we can do. And if it's enough, fantastic. We'll enjoy it and it'll be fantastic. If it's not enough, then we'll look back at certain games this season and look, we should have done better there. We should have got a point here and there, and we could have won it. But ultimately, the season's over 22 games, isn't it? It's not one game that's won it or lost it. We can only do what we can do now, and if we win all our games, we'll give ourselves a great chance, and hopefully it will be enough. I mean, Andreas, what are you thinking now? Obviously, we've both played the same games now. It hasn't happened for a while. They've got the advantage by the point. They are got a slightly better goal difference. How do you see it playing out now with the games that's left? They have got tougher games, but what are you thinking?
I think Chelsea is such an experienced team, and now that they are in the lead, I think the chances are on their side, and we should be fair and give a lot of respect to Chelsea, how they deal with the situation. They were 8 points behind us. They had 3 games in hand. The goal difference was better from us. They had to win every match, a lot of pressure, and Frank Kirby and Pernille Harder are out for the whole month now, and they are still scoring a lot of goals. So, to be fair, I would like to give a lot of respect to them. Of course, I want us to win the league, and I want us to be on top of the table. But I have to say, Chelsea is playing a really, really good season, even after that disappointment in December with the 4-0 loss in Wolfsburg and being out in Champions League. They came back, they had a lot of pressure, and now I think they are the favorites for the title. And if everything goes normal, I think Chelsea will be champions, unfortunately. But even if this happens, as I said last week, I will be happy with the season we played, because there is a big development. You see, we are creating something with the team, and it's a really good season we are playing. So let's come the last matches and then see what happens. And the team that has more points at the end, or maybe the better goal difference, this team deserves to win. And it's the Arsenal, but if it's Chelsea, I would be the first to say congratulations.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. And whoever wins the league out of us and Chelsea, it's been a great battle this season. We've had an advantage because we played more games, because Chelsea had a load called off, and we took advantage of that. We got the points and we did have a lead on them. But ultimately, there's been nothing to choose between us all the way through the season. We saw the 2 games in the league. We just about sneaked the game at the Emirates. The second game could have gone either way, ended in a draw. And that's pretty much how it's been between us all the way through. And it's going to be close. Imperative View says there, goal difference won't play a part. The league will be decided on points, in my opinion. Yeah. I got a feeling you're right as well. I think it will be points. It'll be a point either way. Either they'll win it by a point or we'll win it by a point because they'll draw a game somewhere along the line and we'll end up jumping above them. But yeah, it's going to be. It would be a shame. I mean, Amar, what are you thinking now? Do you think that are we going to get some help from somewhere from two people that we wouldn't expect help from usually? Spurs and Man United. They seem to be the most likely teams that can help us with the fixtures that's left. They've both got something to play for, haven't they? Tottenham and Man United. With that third place, they can both still get, particularly Man United. They desperately want that Champions League this year, don't they? So that could be that last game of the season. Maybe it's going to go all the way to that game. Wouldn't that be an incredible finish to the season if it's still 1 point either way in that last game? They play Man United at home. We travel to West Ham. That's going to be something, isn't it? Well, assuming that's the last game, of course, we might have to play Tottenham after that.
I don't know.
We both might have to play Tottenham after that. Who knows? But anyway, let's assume that it does finish on that day. I mean, how do you see it playing out now? Because they do have tougher games. There's no doubt.
They do. There's no question they've had tougher games. But as I said, I've all along, I've said all along that it's going to go down to the final day, and I like the way the two. Funny enough, they both have coaches called Skinner, so maybe one of them could do us a favour and skin Chelsea or something. I don't know, but but no. Jokes aside, I think there still be twists and turns. I mean, if they win all 5 of their remaining games and they pip us by 1 point, kudos to them. They've been brilliant. Emma Hayes, you have to give her credit. As much as she may not be the most likeable manager around, she's just been there and done that. She is world class in that regard. And Jonas has the capabilities of becoming like her, and he'll be better off for it. But I'm not going to give it up just yet. I think we can get a favour. Look, nobody expected Reading to beat them. They didn't. Don't forget earlier in the season, yes, it was back in January. They drew away against Brighton as well. And a lot will also depend. But don't forget, we still have to play them in the FA Cup semi-final after the break. So maybe there'll be some that could play a big part in which way the title goes as well. I mean, if we beat them in that, who knows? They could still swing in our favour, but it remains to be seen. And even if, as I said, we win all our remaining games, they could still pip us. And let's not think about it. I know we're still in the chance of winning 3 trophies. Even if we don't win any, I still think it's been a fantastic season, and it's taken us a lot further from where we were. And it's just about taking it to the next level. But I still think, as I've said, it will go down to the final day, and who knows? Manchester United are hitting form now. They've got players to hurt Chelsea. I know Chelsea's home form is incredible, but it remains to be seen. And Spurs have been outstanding all season, and so who knows? But we'll wait and see. But I still think there could be another twist or turn along the way.
Well, it could be. It could be. I mean, what I want is I want to make sure that we make Chelsea have to win it by winning all our games.
Definitely.
If we drop a silly points here and there, then and hand it to them, that's not how it should be. If Chelsea are going to win the league, and as much as it would hurt that they do, at least if we win all our last 5 games and we've made them have to win all their games as well to win it, then I think that we'd have to be pretty satisfied overall with that. We can't. There's nothing else we can do now. We're in a position that we're in. We've dropped a few points early in the season, which we know we shouldn't have dropped. Yeah. So have they. But ultimately, they've got an advantage, and I'm just hoping and praying that somebody somewhere along the line, or maybe just Chelsea's had one off day. That's all it's going to take. They've had a couple this season unexpectedly, as we said, Reading and Brighton. Let's see if they can have another one, and someone can step up and get a result for us, not just for us, but for them as well. But it's going to do us a big favour. And ultimately, we've got to win our games. Chelsea could draw a couple of games. If we draw a couple of games, they still win the league, don't they? So we've still got to win our games, and that's important. They may look slightly easier on paper, but it doesn't always work like that. We've seen this season there's been some shock results. Everybody's dropped points they wouldn't have expected to have dropped, and we just need to make sure we don't do that again. We win all our 5 games and see if it's enough. If it's enough, be brilliant. If it isn't enough, well, we'll just have to accept it. And as Andreas said, we just have to hold our hands up and say we've lost to the better team over the season. And that's unfortunately what we'll have to accept, won't we? And it will be disappointing. It will be frustrating. But anyway, let's win all our games and we'll see. Imperative View says Beth will be fully rested for the Leicester game. Yeah, that's true. She's got a night off, so she might have to play on her own because all the others will have COVID. So she'll take them on her own. I'm sure we'll win, even if it's just best playing. Tommy in the chat there says you had a good few days in London, but not many games. No, just the one game, unfortunately. What happened at Wembley? Yeah, we went to Wembley actually on Saturday to try to go to the England game against Switzerland. There's a last minute thing because obviously the Arsenal women game was called off, and this guy said to us he had 2 tickets, right? So I've got 2 tickets. I'll meet you outside Block G at 5 o'clock. So he said, right, okay, no problem. I said, yeah, no worries, we'll be there and meet you. Anyway, we're on the underground, and we came, obviously, you come up from the underground when you get to Finchley Road. And we came up there, and obviously my phone hasn't got a signal because you're underground. And then it sent me this message about 20 to 5 saying, oh, I'm at Block G. And I noticed I'd had a missed call from him while I obviously was on the train. And then he sent a message at like about 10 to 5 saying, oh, I've tried to ring you loads of times. I can't get through to you, so I'm going to sell the tickets now. And I'm like, well, hang on a minute. 1, it's not 5 o'clock yet. 2, I've been on the underground. I sent him messages, tried to ring him. No answer. He didn't respond to any of my messages.
Oh, he's a jackass.
How could you possibly have sold the ticket? And when we got there, we walked up Wembley Way, asking a few people, anybody got any spare tickets? No. We went to Block G just in case, trying to ring him all the way through. No answer. Speaking to people, anybody got any spare tickets? No. No one was looking to buy tickets outside Block G. So if he was outside Block G waiting for us, who's he sold his ticket to? Because nobody was buying tickets. No one was, apart from us, we were the only one looking for tickets. No one else was. So I don't know who he sold it to. So I'm not really sure. Yeah. I think we were slightly stitched up. We did try to get in. We went to the box office. We spoke to pretty much everyone we could find. In the end, he got to about 6 o'clock. The game had already started. We hadn't got anywhere. So we walked back down Wembley Way. There was a few people milling about. There was a tout who was going to sell tickets about 85 quid each for £30 tickets. So we're like, well, actually, it's 6 o'clock now, mate. So no. But yeah, so we didn't have no luck with that, unfortunately. And in the end, we just got the train back and had a good night instead away from football. But yeah, it was a shame because, the guy said he had 2 tickets for us. And we went up to Wembley to meet him together. And unfortunately, it didn't quite work. But anyway, that's life. Luckily, we didn't pay for the tickets in advance from him, so we didn't lose any money. We just lost a bit of time messing around going up there, really. But anyway, it was safe to do. I guess it was a couple of hours of a trip out. So that was what happened there, unfortunately. But it would have been nice to have seen the game. See Granit Xhaka play for Switzerland, of course. Ben White played for England, so that would have been nice to have seen that.
Ben White, exactly. Yeah.
It didn't quite work out for us, but anyway, not to worry. I'd have been more annoyed if it had been an Arsenal game that we'd missed on the back of expecting tickets. So, swings and roundabouts. And I say we didn't pay for them. So it could have been a lot worse. So we'll be happy with that. Imperative Views says Chelsea will unfortunately win the league. Villa was the game that didn't happen. Yeah, Villa was the game. I was so excited when all that was still 0-0 and I thought that was it, but it wasn't. Terry says we can't rely on Spurs. Our best bet is Man U. Spurs will throw the Chelsea game for sure. Well, they got planned twice. I don't think they will because they want to get top 3. They can't afford to throw games. That's why they called the game off on Wednesday because they got a few players out. So that's why they didn't play on Wednesday. So I don't think they will throw the game with Chelsea. I think they need to win. So I think that's good for us that they do need to win. Otherwise, they may well have blown it and thrown it away. But I don't think they will. But we'll have to see exactly what happens with that. The Imperative View says the semis against Chelsea will be flames. It will. That's going to be a hell of a game, actually. That's could be the game of the season. I know we've said that a few times. The game at Kings Meadow was the game of the season, but this could be even better, couldn't it? But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that one there. And what we say here, Terry says, who watches England? It wasn't a choice, really. It was because obviously we were stuck without a game to go to on Saturday, and obviously England were playing at Wembley. We wasn't far away from Wembley, so we thought, why not? Something to do. It would have been good, but yeah, obviously my choice would be to watch England in a friendly. I wanted to watch North London derby, but anyway, let's it was one of them things. We didn't get to watch it anyway, so we didn't pay for any tickets, so that's fine. Yeah, that was what happened at Wembley anyway. So not the outcome that we were looking for, but ultimately I'm not that bothered now because it's over. At the time, I was a bit annoyed that we went all the way to Wembley for nothing really, but we had a bit of a laugh on the train, good atmosphere, England fans singing and stuff like that. So that was quite good. Scotland get battered everywhere they go and stuff like that. So it's quite good. But unfortunately, we didn't get to see the game. But anyway, it was an experience, which is nice, and life's all about experiences, isn't it? So yeah, I mean, it's been a funny old week in many ways. Making pointless trips to London. Well, not really pointless. We had a good time in London. I know Andreas did as well. Did you enjoy your Emirates tour, Andreas? Because it was pretty good, wasn't it? I enjoyed mine.
Yeah, of course, fantastic tour, and the chance to go through the players' tunnel and sit on Jonas' seat.
Go seat. Sorry, not Jonas, but yeah.
And then I was in the museum at the end, watching the history on one side, and on the other part of the museum, the presents. And our girls are present there. There's a corner for Arsenal women. It was really nice, and the tour, of course. And in the end, I bought this pictures when they bought the same. When they put pictures near Lacazette and Saka and Smith Rowe.
And that's brilliant. Yeah.
Photo Andreas signed for the Arsenal.
Yeah, no, it was good fun actually. We really enjoyed it actually. It was a good day, and it was good to be in the changing rooms and stuff like that, wasn't it? And in the tunnel and all that kind of stuff. And the heated seat. Did you sit on the heated seat as well? The manager's seat, the heated one. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was good actually. But no, I mean, I did enjoy it. I've never done Emirates tour before, which is quite good. So
no, they were giving I think they were giving 50% off tours to make up for not being able to see the Spurs game. But I didn't take advantage. I just didn't want to go all that way. But
well, I mean, I paid full price actually. I mean, was it 50% off? We should have waited and got.
Yeah,
tickets.
I think it was 50. They said that as a courtesy, we'll give you 50% off a stadium tour, but only on the day. But yeah,
exactly. Yeah. I made it on Friday, so that was only the members 20% less, but not the 50%.
I didn't get any less at all. But anyway, there you go.
No,
we booked ours in advance. You see, we booked ours a few weeks ago because obviously wasn't anticipating the game getting called off, so we just booked it for the Thursday anyway. So there you go. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It was a good time. Really enjoyed it, and it was a great day actually. So that was nice. We went to Highbury as well. And saw a bit of history, of course. I stood in where my old seat used to be on the clock end, which now obviously doesn't exist anymore. It's just a walkway up between the flats and the sort of grass in the middle. But anyway, it was nice to be back at Highbury. I've not actually been back to Highbury. Every time I've been to the Emirates since we moved, I've never gone to Highbury because I've never wanted to. But we did the other day, and it was nice to go back there a little bit. It was a little bit sad actually. It's a shame that we had to move away from Highbury. But anyway, it was nice to go back there finally and see some of the old places that I used to hang about when I was younger and stuff like that, which was good. But anyway, just a shame. It was only one game that we got to see. But anyway, such is life. Terry says, Richard, what time is Amar singing tonight? Looking forward to it. Actually, what we need to do, I forgot about actually, Amar's not singing, but he's got something instead for us as has become common on the show. So it's Amar's quiz actually. It's better than singing. Amar's got his quiz.
They don't hear me sing, trust me.
No, we'll save the singing for the expert, Matt, when he's back next time. So, but yeah, we do look forward to we're looking forward to the quiz question. I'm sure it's going to be a good one again. The last two have been really difficult questions, and we've kind of got there in the end. Yeah. But what's today's one going to be, Amar? We're looking forward to this.
Okay, so my question for today is: when Arsene Wenger took over Arsenal Football Club as manager in September 1996, how many of the current Arsenal women's squad weren't born?
Oh, okay.
So if you want to hear that one more time, so when Arsene Wenger took over Arsenal in September 1996, how many of the current Arsenal women's squad weren't born?
Oh.
Oh, that's a good one. No, I'm not going to sing the question, Terry. Be quiet.
Terry says, "Yeah, sing the question." Yeah, well, I don't think you're going to sing the question. Dear. We might have to sing the answers, maybe. That's a very good question, actually. So that's the current squad. The current squad.
Arsenal women's squad, yeah, absolutely, and that includes the players that are out on loan as well. Just to add.
I got a program the other night actually. Well, actually, to be honest, I didn't get a program. I meant to get one. I couldn't get one. And then when we went to the stadium tour on a Thursday, some guy working at the club gave us one for free. So thanks to him. Actually, that was
there too. Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was just giving it to us. He gave you one as well, did he? I should get it actually because it'll have all the players' details, isn't it? Won't it? Right. Okay.
You don't necessarily have to name them. I'm just looking for a number, but if you name them, I'll be very impressed as well.
No.
Well, we need to work out who they are first to get a number, don't we? I know Tobin Heath isn't one of the answers, or Rafaela Souza either, because I know they're both old in that. But there's there'll be quite a few.
Players on loan also counting.
Yes, players are also on loan now, currently still at Arsenal, but even in this, yeah, they still count.
Okay.
No, Terry, that's wrong. Sorry.
Terry said 3. Come on, Terry. There's not going to just be 3, is there? That are younger than 20, 25 and a half.
25, yeah. 25, 26, yeah.
25 and a half, yeah.
Double figure, at least.
I'm thinking double figure at least, yeah. I mean, I've got quite a few written down. A couple of them I'm not 100% sure about, because I think there's a couple that were born in 96, but was it before September or after September? That's the
crucial. That's the thing.
That's the crucial aspect of it, isn't it?
I did my research, and I know what the answer is, but do you?
Just to say something, maybe 13.
13 is wrong, I'm afraid. 26. Oh, God. Terry, man.
26, that's like the whole squad. you think they're all under 25 and a half? Well, clearly not.
I think he was talking about the age, to be fair. Yeah, the age.
26, yeah, all right, yeah. They're sort of between 25 and 26.
Nah, yeah.
Right, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You know what? I don't know how old Nikita Paris is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing she might be. She's been around a long time, isn't she? I don't know about Nikita Paris, but she's going to be very close. Actually, no, I think she's older. I'm going to cross her off. I don't think she's there. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
We'll go on then.
I'm going to go through the squad with the ones that I think are right. Okay. So we've got.
I'll tell you if you're right or wrong then. Yeah, I suppose I can tell you if you're right or wrong.
Yeah. So starting with the squad, we start with the goalkeepers. Lydia Williams isn't, because she's older.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
See, Zinsberger's on the borderline. She's definitely on the borderline, Zinsberger. I'll leave her for now. I'm going to say, obviously, Ruben Moyes one.
Ruben Moyes, correct. Yeah.
I'm going to say Noel Moritz is 2.
Noel Moritz is incorrect, I'm afraid.
She's older.
Is she older?
Yeah, she is. She's 27, I believe.
I think.
Oh, wow. That's a surprise.
Imperative Views has just come up with a cracking answer, by the way.
Actually, yeah. Spencer, that is a good shout, actually. Yeah, Spencer.
Fran Stenson, Stenson's correct. Yeah.
So she'll be one. So Ruben Moyes, Stenson, so that's 2. I had Williamson, because I know she's 25, isn't she?
Williams is correct. She was born in 1997.
Williamson. I've got, obviously, Anna Patton, who's on loan.
Anna Patton's correct, yeah.
I've got Taya Goldie, who's on loan.
Oh, Goldie. I didn't actually think about Taya. So, yeah, I think she is a correct answer as well.
She's only 18. She's only 18, so she's definitely.
She's only 17. In fact, she's only 17.
She's definitely all right. Okay, yeah. So she would definitely include her. A controversial one that I'm not 100% certain about, but I'm going to go for it anyway, is Viv. I think she's younger because she's 25.
She's July 1996.
Oh, get in. So she's another one.
No. Viv was July 96. I said September, didn't I?
Yeah, so she's
doing 2 months.
Oh, she's too old.
She's too old.
No way.
2 months, yeah, July 96.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, before, yeah. Oh, shit.
Just before. That's unlucky, but it's just before. So you
Well,
said, yeah. So we got so just to clarify so far, we've got Stenson, Ruben Moy, Williamson, Patton, Goldie, and yeah, I think there's just one more.
Terry says Nobbs and Kim. Well, obviously not, because Jordan Nobbs is 30 and Kim's
30,
over 30, so it's neither of those two.
Kim's 32.
Imperview says Hala Hussein. She's obviously is she a first team player? Would we say?
Oh, Hala Hussein.
Hala Hussein. Yeah, she's not really a first team player, is she?
No,
so I don't think we should really include her.
Yeah, no.
Terry says Paris is 28. Oh, well, there you go. I thought she might have been. I wasn't sure. I knew she'd be around about that sort of age. Black Stenius is 26. So I don't think she is.
No, it's not quite Black Stenius.
It's not going to be Black Stenius. See, I'm thinking Beth Mead might be just in that little. I know she's older, isn't she, Beth Mead? She's about 27.
Beth Mead is May 95.
Yeah. Did you say there's 3 more? Did you say there's only 3 more?
Sorry, I think you named 5 of them. I think you named 5 of them.
Frida Manum is younger.
Correct. Is correct.
Frida yeah, that's a good shout.
Manum's correct. Yes.
Yeah, that's a great shout. That is a great shout.
Yeah, I think the other ones have just been revealed in the chat.
I've got a feeling it might be Katie McCabe.
Katie McCabe's 95, I'm afraid.
Oh, no way. Oh, yeah, there's no one in Pettiview's. Laura Wainwright. Yeah, she's going to be. Of course she will be.
Yeah, that was the other answer. Laura Weinreuter.
And obviously Frida Marnham as well.
So, yeah,
are they the only ones?
Sorry?
Are they actually the only ones? Really?
Yeah, so the actual answer, I forgot about to tell you, but the actual answer is 7. 7 players were born when Arsene Wenger took over in 1996.
I thought it was more than that, I must admit. I think that there's quite a few that are around 25, 26, isn't there? And I think that's probably all, because I know Steena's 26, Viv's 25. There's a couple around that. Katie McCabe's about 25. So the fact, so the answer there was Williamson, Wibbenmoy, Veenroy to all the W's. And you got Stenson, Marnham.
What about
Marnham? Patton and Goldie. So yeah, 7.
What about Manu Zinsberger?
Zinsberger was born in. Let me just confirm this. I don't think she was born after Arsene Wenger. I just need to confirm this. By the way, I did not do my research, so I'm actually Zinsberger. Oh, where are we? Zinsberger was actually October 1995. So there you go.
So we've got actually what that's made me realise now is, without maybe thinking about it before, is we've got quite a lot of players that are in their mid-20s at this moment in time, which is kind of almost the peak, isn't it? Coming into the peak all at the same time. We've got a group of this squad.
Yes. And
it reminds me quite similar of when the men's Invincible squad were very similar. They had a lot of players all reaching their peak at the same time, and obviously it led to that Invincible season. And we seem to have a group of players that are all at that same sort of age that are reaching that peak all at the same time, which is a great thing, isn't it? And if, as in Pettiview's says, their prime age, exactly here they are. And there's a lot of the squad, we've got these 7 younger players, as Amar mentioned, which are improving all the time. We've got a few players that are a little bit older. We've got the the players in the 30s, Jordan Nobbs and obviously Rafaela and players like that as well, Kim Little. But overall, we've got quite a good balance, I think, in the squad at the right age.
Yes, we do.
And that question was actually really good, because it's brought that into the focus, actually. When you look at Chelsea's squad are a lot older, aren't they? They've got a lot more of an aging squad. And I feel as though that, yes, Chelsea may well win the league this year. We don't know yet. They might do. But I think we've got a brighter future, because Chelsea have got to start rebuilding, because they've got a lot of players that have been there quite a long time that are getting older, and reaching their peak, or gone past their peak, some of them, I think. And we're kind of getting there. So I actually think at the future of us over the next 2 or 3 years is looking brighter than Chelsea at the moment. They need to rebuild. Are they allowed to buy any players? Who knows what's going to happen? But anyway, that was a pretty interesting question, actually. And it has
7.
It's given me confidence now for the future. If Chelsea do win the league this year, it's not the end of the world, because we are going to be getting better over the next 2 or 3. Well, it's the end of the world for now, but look at it. We're going to be getting better over the next 2 or 3 years, and I think that's important. And it's something that we need to remember as well, that we have got a great squad of players that are hopefully going to improve even more than they are already. So Imperative View says, I guess Marlin doesn't count. Well, no, she's
No, Alan's gone. Alan's gone.
So, yeah, we're not going to count her.
Gone.
What about Leah Walty, actually? When was she born?
93. So I'll tell you, with Nobbs and Heath, and we've actually got a few players in the 30s as well. Nobbs is going to be 30 this year. Kim Little's 32.
Yeah.
Simone Boy's 30, I think.
30, yeah. Raphael's 30.
Sousa's 30. BT's going to be 30. In fact, BT is 30. So there you go. We've got quite a higher band, and then got the middle band and the lower band.
Yeah, but we've got that experience. We've got the young players coming through, and we've got a core of players that are in good positions that are all at the right age as well. Imperative View says Keats is 28. Yeah, she is. Yeah, she was one. I was a bit unsure what age she is. I know she's been around for ages, so you'd assume she's older, but she actually looks younger. I think when you look at her, she doesn't look as old as some of the other ones. But anyway, that's you know what it is. But that was an interesting question actually, and that was a really good good way to look at the squad as well. It's made us look at the squad a little bit differently as well, isn't it, with their ages? Because you don't often think about so much how old they are. Some of them. No. I mean, Viv, you would imagine Viv seems to have been playing for years, and you'd think, oh, she must be nearly 30 now, but she's only 25. And it's incredible, really, isn't it? And same with Stina. You know, she's got 300 goals in her career. She's only 26. It's like, wow, you know what I mean? These players have got experience, but they also have still got age on their side. They've still got 4 or 5 years at their peak still to play. So we're lucky to have them on. Let's hope that we certainly keep all of them together for as long as we can. So yeah, I mean that was a good show tonight. Actually, a lot to get through. Obviously, a lot of stuff's gone on this week, good and bad and indifferent. But ultimately, we've got 2 massive games coming up over the next few days. Obviously, Thursday away in Wolfsburg, and of course Sunday as well, the game at Leicester, as we said. And let's hope that we can get 2 victories and keep the treble dream alive for a little bit longer. And then, of course, it is international break after that for a week, and then we come back with the FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea, so it doesn't get any easier, does it? Imperative View says Noel's 26. Yeah, she just missed out on that particular bracket, unfortunately. Again, she's another one actually. She seems to have been around quite a long time, but she seems younger to me than what she may be. But anyway, so yeah, it's a big week for the Arsenal women. Another big week. I think they have a lot of big weeks recently, but this is a really big week. Champions League fate is going to be decided for definite this Thursday. And then WSL hopes might be decided this Sunday as well if we don't beat Leicester, depending on, of course, obviously still a long way to go. But anyway, Rajan was in finally. Just caught us out there. He says, "Hi guys, good to see you again. Hopefully you can catch up on the catch up of the show afterwards." So I will be back on Thursday, of course, for the watch along. It's early kickoff, isn't it? 4:45. So I'll go live about 5:30 with the team news, a bit of build up, and then we'll crack on with the game at 5:45. It's going to be a tense night. So if you're around, please join me for that. That's going to be good. And then, of course, it's a quieter weekend in a way because there's obviously the men aren't playing until Monday against Crystal Palace. So we've got a big watch along at the Leicester game on Sunday as well. 12:30 kick-off that is, so we'll go live at 12:15 for that one. So please join me for that as well. And then Monday we'll call it this time next week. It's of course Arsenal against Crystal Palace in the Premier League, so I'll be covering that game as well. And then we'll be back again. Actually, next Friday it's the international break for the women, isn't it? So mind you, I said that we've got 2 games to look back on, so we will do a show next Friday. We'll go back to our usual Friday slot next Friday, so not this Friday coming. Because obviously we've done it this week. We'll wait till next Friday and we'll look back on the Wolfsburg game, on the Leicester game, see where we are, and that'll be good. So we'll do that a week on Friday, go back to our usual Friday slot, and then of course a week after we'll be building up to the FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea, which is going to be a good game, and I'm sure you'll agree. So lots coming up on the channel on the Arsenal women's side as well. So please. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Please give it a like as well. Terry says, great show tonight, Richard, Andreas, and I suppose we can include Amar as well. Yeah, we got there in the end, didn't he? He had a few technical issues.
There's always technical issues.
Seems to be a regular feature of the show these days. We're getting a few regular features. We've got Amar's quiz and Amar's microphone issues. And we've got match chart of the week as well. And we're getting some good regular features on the show. But anyway, it's great. Terry says, say it, Richard. Well, no, I'll wait till the end as always. And Imperative Views, great shows. No, thanks for tuning in again. That's great to get your comments in. Andreas, thank you very much for joining us again this week. Have you recovered from your flight yesterday? I'm assuming everything went smoothly.
Yes, everything went okay. About 40 minutes delay, but it was okay. And back to reality and back to work today. So, yeah. now looking forward to the matches this week. On Wednesday, Bayern Munich is playing in Paris.
Yeah.
Arsenal in Wolfsburg. Yeah,
massive. And then Arsenal against Leicester on Sunday, and then Wolfsburg against Bayern.
No, and on the weekend.
Yeah, you got Wolfsburg on Sunday. Of course, that's a big, it is.
Is it really? Wolfsburg play Bayern on Sunday today?
Yeah, I just looked up the fixtures. Yeah, they are.
Wow.
With all these COVID cases, this will be very difficult. But I saw we are playing Leicester
around the same time as you're playing Bayern. That's right. As long as it's the same time you.
Yeah, we can be back on top of the table because Chelsea is playing in the evening, the late.
Yes, Reading, that's right.
They're playing the late game, yeah. Is it Reading they're playing? Is it Reading?
Yeah, Reading at Kingsmeadow, that's right.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So, well, I mean, you know, we need someone to get something again. But yeah, I think it'd be good to go top again, wouldn't it? You know, because it's annoyed me actually since yesterday. We're not top anymore. I don't like looking at the table anymore. I've enjoyed looking at it all season. And now I'm looking at it today and I'm like, I don't like looking at it now because we're not top anymore.
Oh, well, at least you got me and Andreas, Richard. So
no, of course, exactly. It could be worse. It could be worse. And Gemma says, we saw the Arsenal get better and better versus Wolfsburg, and hopefully we'll win on Wednesday. Yeah, we're hoping so. We're all pretty confident that we can go through. Terry says, good night, chaps, all in the chat. Yeah, thanks for tuning in again, mate, as well. Gareth enjoyed the show, guys. Huge games, they're all huge. Gemma says, can we beat Leicester 9-0? No, we can't. Probably not. But anyway,
not after a Thursday night game, somehow.
Who knows? Who knows? You never know. Tom's in as well. How you doing, Tom? Good to see you, mate. He says, who's playing Kingsmeadow?
Reading is
Reading, yeah, but hopefully they beat them last time. Who knows? I'm sure Chelsea will be looking for revenge in that one. And Terry says, Vijayendra, have you got the same watch as Amar? he's got. Maybe he didn't put his clocks forward. That's what it is. Vijayendra doesn't put his clock forward.
Wednesday, but don't put it. Yeah, it's Thursday. I'm sure somebody will tell him. We don't want to miss out. You can watch the Barcelona Real Madrid game if he wants to on Wednesday. Let's see.
No, it's early kickoff. Yeah, you have to get it early on Wednesday because it isn't a Thursday. Sorry, it's early kickoff. And Kara says, guys, could you all give your respective front? Oh, yeah, front line we'd like to see against Wolfsburg. Yeah, okay. Obviously, Beth Mead's suspended, so she can't play. I would go with, I suppose, if you're looking at the three, obviously, Viv will be behind, so we won't include her. She'll be playing, but in behind. Obviously, Stina through the centre forward. I would probably go with Caitlin Ford on the left if she's fit, because I think she's had a great season, great form at the minute. And on the right, we are going to miss Beth, aren't we? I'd probably start Nikita Paris, actually. That'd be my three. Andreas?
Yeah. I would start Tobin. Start her and let her play as long as she can, and then substitute her. But not only bringing her for the last 10 minutes, and it could be too late. And she has a big name, and the name is also a threat for the young Wolfsburg players.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Start Tobin and say, do what you can, give you everything for the first half, for the first 60, 70 minutes, and then substitute her and bring then Keats for her.
So who would you play on the right then to start with?
That's a difficult one, yeah.
Well, I would try Tobin, Stina, and Caitlin. Caitlin is...
Yeah, that sounds about right, yeah.
If she's fit, hopefully. She's very versatile. She can play on both sides, and she said in an interview that she prefers to play on the wings, not in the center.
Yeah. No, she does. Yeah, I just think she played well on the left. Caitlin Ford, actually. I'd probably play Katie McCabe at left back, Caitlin Ford in left of the front three, and Nikita Paris on the right, and bring Tobin Heath on because she had a great impact from the bench the other night. But you're right about the name. I mean, at the end of the game, Tobin Heath was one of a couple of players to come over into the crowd. And everybody was just going mental when she came over. It was fantastic. You know, she's such a popular figure. She's lovely as well. You know, she's chatting to everybody. She took the time out. Beth Mead as well, actually. Beth Mead was the first one over. Absolutely brilliant. You know, taking pictures of everybody. And it's a shame that the players were told not to do it, actually, by the security. That they were told not to, apparently, which was a shame. Because the ones that did come over were fantastic, you know. Beth Mead and I say Tobin in particular is an absolute legend of women's football, and to be that close to her was great. And obviously the way everybody was, everyone was getting excited, the young girls, and it was brilliant to see. And yeah, she is a big name, and hopefully she can play a big part in the game. But I'm not sure if she's ready to make that same impact from the start. I think coming on, she makes a big impact, and maybe that's where she's better. I mean, what front three would you go with, then, Amar, for Thursday?
Yeah, no, I was thinking, of course, I forgot Viv plays in a more not say more central role, but yeah, I'd definitely start with Heath on the left, and I'd definitely put Stina through the middle. As for the right, yeah, I mean, I think it's difficult. I thought Beth suspended, and maybe give Nikita Paris a shot, or possibly Caitlin. It depends on who's fit, but I'll definitely Heath and Blackstenius as for the third one. It's difficult, but yeah, I think maybe go with somebody like Paris, for example, as you were saying. But it's down to the manager. But I don't know. I suppose Mana can't really play more as an advanced role on the right, could she? But who knows? Maybe some of that Mana on the right.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we have to see. I mean, we've got options. That's good. Yeah, Beth Mead's going to be a massive loss. We know she will be, but we have got options. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I think Stina's guaranteed to start. It's just which two go either side of her. Will it be Caitlin? Will it be Tobin Heath? Will it be Paris? Will it be Manu? Who knows? I mean, we've got plenty of options, haven't we? So that it is going to be good. Tom says there, you're one of my favourite shows, guys. Thank you very much for the comments there. We said that we went out for our front three there for Wolfsburg. Magenta says I had tuition with a student just finished. You have to change times in future. I know we're on a Monday night now, we have been last week. We'll be going back to Friday, so don't worry. Terry says there, full Blackstenius and Paris. Yeah, that's the three that I would start with Heath coming on, hopefully later on to have an impact. Terry says hat-trick Paris in the first. Well, that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
It is great, honestly. What crack are they on? Honestly, I'm down.
And Regina says, we'll have 5 substitutes. Yeah, I believe we are in the Champions League, aren't we? We'll have 5 substitutes.
So.
Tom says there, she's hardly fresh. She's been injured most of the season. Totally. Yeah, she has been, but when she's played, she's made an impact always. Regina says Beth always does that. Tom says Beth never listens to that mojo. She always comes. Well, yeah, she does, and it's great to see. Everyone loves Beth. Everyone loves Toe. Everyone love them all. I really wanted Leah Williams to come over. I was dying for her to come over, but she wouldn't. But anyway, she not because she didn't want to, but because she wasn't allowed. But I saw a few people after the game hung around a bit longer than we did, and a couple of people got a picture with Stina outside the ground later on. So I wish I'd hang about a bit longer now because that would have been nice. But anyway, and Regina says Kate has been playing. Actually, you see, Kate is an option, isn't she, to play at left? She started. I thought she played pretty well on the left against Wolfsburg last week. But I think if Caitlin's back, I would be really tempted to put Caitlin back in the team because of how well she was playing. And Thomas says Beth was the only one who came across at the Emirates. Yeah, well, she did again. I say Tobin did as well, and I think Manu Zinsberger did as well, didn't she? Briefly. But those two came across and had their photos done. Everybody, it was brilliant. So that was great. That was. So yeah, we got a bit sidetracked, didn't we, by the front three question that we were asked. Imperative View says Ford, Stina, and Katie. Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, I mean that would be an interesting one. No Tobin Heath or Nikita Paris, but we've got options. That's the good thing. The fact that not many of us are picking the same three goes to show that we've got options, and Jonas has got to pick the right three that's going to win us the game, and let's hope he does. But equally, the players who come on can have an impact. We saw that, on Wednesday, the substitutes all played well and played a part. I mean, he's been playing Frida Marnham up front, so maybe he might play as centre forward. But let's hope he doesn't start with her as a centre forward because I want Stephen to play. And Tom says there, the first match it was September, wasn't it? Yeah. I think they had, because they had more restrictions than didn't they? So they wasn't really supposed to come over. Whereas now the restrictions aren't there. So I thought more should have been allowed, but apparently the security was telling them not to go into the crowd for security reasons. But anyway, a couple of them did, great that they did, and I enjoyed that. Just a shame a few more wasn't able to. But anyway, hopefully in the future that'll happen, and we'll get it more back to as it used to be. But anyway. We'll see. So it's been a big week. So Andreas, thank you very much for joining us again tonight. We will go back to Fridays next week just to get back to our usual slot. But Mondays have been good. I've enjoyed it the last couple of weeks. And Amar as well. Thank you very much for joining us. Finally, a bit late and you had a few issues, but you got there. It's it's all about how you finish. It's not how you start. It's how you finish. That's the important.
I suppose. Yeah, thanks, mate. Good thank you for having me as always. I'll be away on my holiday next week, so I hope it goes I hope it all goes well for you. I have to think of some more questions for the show in the meantime. So yeah, I mean I can do that and also enjoy finally going abroad for the first time in over 2 years. So I'm looking forward to that as well. But in the meantime, as we said, let's hope our teams continue to impress us. And who knows, Arsenal getting a trophy, Arsenal women getting a trophy, Arsenal men getting Champions League. Let's see. Let's hope it happens.
It's lots to look forward to the rest of the season. Actually, with both the men and the women, lots to play for. Every game is an important game now. It's getting quite tense, but I'm enjoying it. Tom says, "Yeah, sorry I missed it, guys. 100% respect." Well, you can watch it back again when we finished. It'll be back on YouTube. You can watch it back.
Watch it back. Yeah.
And Imperative View says, "Take care, Lazia, and yourself. Thanks for tuning in." Terry says, "Night, everyone." Indeed. I say I'll be back Thursday for the game, the watch along against Wolfsburg. I say 5:30, a nice early start. Hopefully, I'll finish work in time. I won't be late, but we'll see. I'll try to see if I can finish early on Thursday. So hopefully we will, and I'll see you for that game. And then, of course, I say Sunday as well, the Leicester game, earlier kick-off that one on Sunday. So lots coming up. It's going to be a tense week, I'm sure. It's going to be an exciting week. Let's hope we get 2 good results and we can come back next Friday and be enjoying life. Top of the WSL, in the semi-final of the Champions League, and everything. The treble will still be on, hopefully, looking ahead to that Chelsea game. So loads coming up. So thanks to Andreas, as always. Brilliant to everyone. Thanks to Amar as well. Brilliant to everyone as well. And hopefully Matt will be back next week as well for his latest song. In fact, he might have to give us 2 or 3 because he's missed a couple of weeks. So so hopefully he's got a couple lined up for next week. Let's hope so. We shall wait and see. Vijendra says, see you then on Thursday. Yeah, hopefully see you Thursday. That would be great. And Terry says, Rich might be on Amar's time on Thursday. No, I'll try and make sure I'm actually on time. But I normally finish work at 5 o'clock, but sometimes I'm going to try and get off early Thursday because I want to try and I might see if I can work from home actually. This might make life a bit easier. But
that's where the third kit. Yeah, let's see.
That's where the third kit for once. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? But I don't know. They play in green, don't they? So having green and blue might be a bit awkward. And look at that. It's beautiful. I actually
like the red. To be fair, I like red. I think green and blue might be a bit. Yeah, let's stick with the red. I like.
I wore the third kit to my Emirates tour the other day. Actually, I had that blue one for that, which was nice. I wore the red one to the game, and I wore the blue one to the. I was going to wear the red one to the Saturday game actually as well, but anyway, we didn't get a chance to do so never mind. But one day, who knows? So yeah, thanks to all you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to give it a like before you leave, and please subscribe if you haven't done so. I'll see you Thursday for the watch along. I say it's going to be a tense game, and you get a thumbs up there, Andreas, for that top. And Tony says, "Yeah, love you really, Amar." Of course, we all love Amar. We love everybody.
No, he doesn't. He loves Raffaelli.
No, she should love Raffaella, not Terry. Terry's just saying that you do, but anyway. So yeah, obviously we're going to miss Amar's quiz, aren't we? If he's away next week, which is a shame. But anyway.
Yeah, no. Well, I think of some good questions in the meantime.
That was a good one tonight. Actually, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, cheers,
question.
No worries.
They're always good questions. I love them, so it's good. It's good stuff. I look forward to that in a couple of weeks. But yeah, I'll see you Thursday for the watch along. Andreas, see you very soon next week. And Emma, have a good holiday, and we'll see you very soon.
Cheers, mate.
And I'll see you guys on Thursday for the match. I'm getting a bit nervous already, but I'm sure it'll be good.
Yeah, who isn't? Yeah.
And in the meantime, of course, as always, come on, you Gunners. Come on. Big week. Let's do it. Come on. We want to get these trophies on the
field. Come on, Arsenal.
Come on, Arsenal. See you later, guys. Take it easy. See you Thursday.
Take care, mate. Bye-bye.
Over and over again, Jesus said,